un suave aliento que al besarme sintiera lo que yo siento. Y a veces me pregunto qué pasaría si yo encontrara un alma como la mía.
Everybody talks about the Miami sound, but Conjunto Universal was the benchmark for Cuban bands everywhere.
These guys, they were like legends back then.
Llamaban al Conjunto Universal y la calle había que cerrarla porque se llenaba de personas.
Many Cubans found that it was kind of a little escape.
Conjunto Universal is playing this big thing in La Verbena and at the highlight, and it was like, wow, I wish we could be like them.
And I was wild. Live bands, 1,000 people dancing.
Together, we were great.
Conjunto Universal trabajaba mucho. Era el grupo que más trabajaba y era el que más pegaba.
Going one way and going separate ways destroyed us.
The story of Cuba and Fidel Castro, headliner throughout 1959. It began the first week of the year when Castro's revolution overthrew the Batista regime.
Llegué sin un centavo. Tú sabes cómo venía uno. A los 2 meses de estar allá, ya conocí a un señor que se llamaba Lindo Rosario, puertorriqueño, que era cantante. Y me dijo, oye, vamos a formar un conjunto, que me dijeron que tú eres músico de Cuba y que tocas el piano. Y vamos, ¿sabes?
Que haya jurado tocar el tambor.
First gig of Conjunto Universal was in Key West. Conjunto Universal started rehearsing late '66. Myself, René Serrano, Ramón Egues, and Gerardo Suárez. We were the 4 trumpets.
Tocamos y gustó tanto a la gente. Se me fue el cantante y me quedé solo yo. Pero que estoy yo trabajando aquí y al lado trabajaba Eddie Wall.
Yo conozco una muchacha que tremendo así.
Entonces, este fue uno de los primeros Conjunto Universal.
Jaime gave me the repertoire. I basically knew all of them by memory.
Eddie era sonero, inspiraba las canciones.
The band was good enough to muscle its way into the dances.
Y entonces ahí fue evolucionando el conjunto, entonces fueron cambiando de música, fuimos tocando.
We were in the regular Saturday night, bailes cubanos.
Fuimos a Panamá, fuimos a Venezuela.
Y haciendo discos, hicimos el contrato con la Velvet.
That was 1967. That was, the band got stronger with time, especially after I left. They became a much stronger band. René's parents, mom and dad, both died within very short time of each other. Things happen in bands, nobody's fault. But we took great umbrage in the way René's parents' death was handled. I wouldn't do it again. But all 4 of us, as a statement, left the band at the same time.
El evento más malo que tuvo en aquel momento, que fueron las 4 y nos quedamos sin trompeta.
The people out there really have no relation to any of us other than their fans. And the show's got to go on.
Jaime had his musicians of different everything approaches and attitudes and egos and you name it. So Jaime was kind of the guy that brought it all together.
He could hear the music and write it at the same time.
Oía el radio, lo captaba, lo grababa y hacía la transcripción, el arreglo para el conjunto. Fuimos buscando los músicos, yo los fui adaptando.
When I joined the band, I never sang before.
Eran jovencitos que no sabían tocar música cubana.
He taught me how to harmonize.
Yo le dije, Eddie, tú sabes que yo lo que tocaba es guitarra y me dijo, no, Jaime te enseña.
He taught me a lot about the intricate harmonies in his arrangements.
Sabía mucho de música, de armonía, tocaba piano, tocaba saxofón, tocaba guitarra. Un buen músico, muy buen músico.
Every week he had something new.
The band was a musician school. Jaime sabía lo que le gustaba al público.
We were now a group. Jaime had his ideas, and you followed them, and that was it.
When I joined Conjunto Universal, it was music, you know, bands, 10 pieces, 11 pieces, 12 pieces, 13 pieces.
I didn't expect the fan base that Conjunto Universal had.
When we used Dinner Key for the end of the year, New Year's dances, we would pack 3,000-4,000 people easily.
You could see the excitement in their faces, the enjoyment in their faces. There was like an electricity back and forth.
Mucha gente, 2,000 personas en un baile.
Imagínate tú, yo con todo, la muchachita y...
3 muchachitas de nombre María, las 3. Nosotros decíamos las 3 Marías, que eran la del fan del Conjunto Universal. Y esas muchachitas viajaban y
Used to be girls from the dance floor to go up and down with us, with me, with Aquiles.
Aquiles was always a lead singer, so there was synergy, and Jaime, Eddie, Aquiles.
Y por no hacerte sufrir la vida entera, quiero sufrir en la llama de amor. Nuestros 2 seres fundir en la llama de amor nuestros 2 seres. Ya no te acuerdas de mí. Ya no me quieres.
Aquiles was a type of singer that whatever you give him, he can do it.
Un talento imaginable.
The sound of the Conjunto Universal wasn't Eddie or the group, it was Aquiles.
Viviré para querer.
Hubieron otros cantantes, otros coristas también en el conjunto, pero como Aquiles, la voz de Aquiles, la afinación de Aquiles, eso no, son muy pocos los que se ven, no solo aquí en la música del Conjunto Universal, en el mundo entero que yo he visto, muy poco, se lo dijo.
He was a very powerful voice.
Yo diría que era la luz del Conjunto Universal.
That kind of gave a little bit of the signature sound to the conjunto.
Many Cubans found that it was kind of a little escape.
Cuban music kind of helped the people who were in attendance to reminisce a little bit of their homeland. And so Celia Cruz came down, and we would play the first set, warm up the audience, until she would come on stage.
They would share the stage because we were the local big dog. The Cuban dances were packed to the tune of 1,200-1,300 people.
Tú traías al Gran Combo, a Rey Barreto, a Tito Puente, a Celia Cruz, y hacías un baile aparte del Conjunto Universal, que siempre tocaba el Conjunto Universal y los Jóvenes Hierro, y nosotros estábamos full, y la demás gente vacío.
Cuando reventó el Conjunto Universal fue con Que Se Sepa, en el año 73.
Que se sepa, Dolorita, whatever, Siento la Dicha, we were always number one.
Nosotros teníamos cantidad de personas que eran fanáticos del Conjunto Universal, inclusive viajaban con nosotros cuando nosotros viajábamos por los Estados Unidos.
También el conjunto viajó a Puerto Rico, a Nueva York.
Denver, Dallas, Houston, New Orleans, Jacksonville. No se quedaba un cubano en la casa.
Era una maquinaria que nunca paraba.
We were tight. We could respond to motions and movements and everything.
They played events every single weekend, and that was unheard of.
Hicimos muchas cosas y se hacían rápido porque como el conjunto tocaba tanto, cuando llegábamos al estudio ya no sabíamos las canciones y después de los estudios eso pues a comer para el Versalles, para la carreta.
We were huge. The band was enormous.
El Conjunto Universal era God.
I gotta say, we weren't in it for the money. We didn't make that much money.
Sometimes you wonder about where you should be getting more paid, since you see that every venue that you're playing at, it's packed to the max.
Pensábamos más en la música que en el dinero y cobramos muy poco.
Ironically, that popularity that was in the real world, as I would say, or in terms of engagements, weddings, etc., was not necessarily translated into the radio scene.
Having a record on the radio continuously helps you a lot.
Entonces tú llegas ahí a promover el disco y ellos te quieren y te abrazan y te ayudan a una emisora de radio y te ponen el disco. Pero cuando tú coges el avión y te vas, lo botas.
Entonces, inclusive, ya la música cubana no era la prioridad de la radio.
Because what's cheaper to take a DJ to the club than the band?
Miami was growing, and within its growth, also there were different tastes. There was a big interest or movement on disco music.
Maybe this is not going to be a great thing for the live music part.
From Miami Beach, the disco capital of the world.
When you mention disco, the Miami sound always comes up. Disco music is written, produced, recorded, and pressed here. It's a multi-million-dollar business and highly competitive.
When disco kicked in, then that was the killer.
Where there's money to be made, disco is the business. The Bee Gees recorded their Saturday Night Fever album at Criteria in North Miami, and America started dancing like never before.
The most popular music is starting to come from Miami.
Mantener una orquesta de 13, 14 músicos is impossible. Ya eso it's not going to happen anymore.
And what is considered America's first disco hit, Rock Your Baby, came out of TK in the summer of 1974.
People are not interested in the music of yesterday, not the young people of today.
Live music really dropped off in that period with a heavy input of disco music and particularly DJs playing pre-recorded music.
The DJs pick up new releases every Monday and Thursday.
I picked up about 6 records on Thursday. I really didn't get a chance to listen to all of them. I listened to about 4 of them. Out of the 4 that I listened to, I liked one particular record, the Foxy record.
DJs became popular during the recession of the early 70s because club owners couldn't afford live bands and DJs could provide the entertainment for less.
And that's where DJs started being the musicians.
For the most part, he just spins records and does no talking.
That's from the old conga that they did in Cuba years ago.
As a producer and as a manager, I know that one of my records is being programmed at least once a night in, let's say, 80% of the discotheques in the city.
Nosotros teníamos 10, 12 long playing, se podían dar banquetes poniendo el Conjunto Universal en la fiesta y tocando el Conjunto Universal y el Conjunto Universal estaba durmiendo en la casa.
Someone approached Jaime and said, you know, if you want to make it, you're going to have to make changes to the band. And he said, I wouldn't do that.
Some of them wanted to go the nightclub route, and Jaime wanted to stay the way things were.
Varios de los músicos se fueron a otra orquesta, al Miami Sound Machine, que comenzaba en ese tiempo con su apogeo duro. Se fueron algunos músicos clave.
Emilio Estefan from Miami Sound Machine had called me. He was looking for a trumpet player. So I went over to his house, we had a conversation. I told him that I was getting paid $65. He said, I'll give you $75. So I told Emilio Estefan I would join the group, and that's how it started.
I'll just really be brutally honest. I really liked Miami Sound Machine, and I liked the stuff they were doing. Their approach was something that I thought fit me like a glove. I saw the prospects of being in a really big ocean, not just a pond anymore, and not just local, something that would go around the world.
Nosotros empezamos más grande que Sound Machine, pero después Sound Machine se puso completamente en el mundo entero. Los problemas de los músicos, la droga, los disc y varias cosas. Jaime decidió un día, dijo, no puedo seguir con la banda, y ahí terminamos todo.
In the Latin music field at the time, drugs were there. Looking in retrospect, it's possibly why he did not take that step.
Everybody used drugs. Heroin, acid, cocaine, marijuana, everything, you know. I didn't use those drugs. I used only powder. No drinking, no pills, only cocaine. And I got so addicted to cocaine. That was my past, you know. I'm clean one day at a time, you know. I can't do nothing about it, you know. But I'm happy now that I'm sober and clean, you know. And I got all the doors open, you know.
Yo diría que eso fue parte también de la cosa, del desbordamiento del conjunto.
Y entonces ya vino ese cambio, que todo eso produjo ya el final. Entonces todo el mundo, pues yo también decidí aventurarme por otro sitio y buscar una nueva, o sea, como todo lo que estaba pasando.
Ya tocaban por barato y la cosa se había puesto muy mala. Y yo me fui para Boston.
I ended with Universal 1982, and right away I joined Conjunto Cristal.
Y empecé a tocar cuando llegué al Conjunto Universal, se había desbaratado.
The jobs were not coming as fast as before, so that might have had something to do with the band ending. Where Jaime and I sat down and we said, listen, this is just too much for us to take on. And he said, yeah, I think you're right, it's time to call it.
It was sad. It was sad because you have to understand that the band began 1966. So you're talking about, what, 18 years? 1982, the band dissolved.
Que si sangran de nuevo pudiera ser fatal. Ya es demasiado.
Parece mentira estar contando esto, pero hoy, 9 de febrero de 2016, se va a llevar a cabo el sepelio de este maestro, de Jaime García, pianista, creador, fundador y cerebro de este Conjunto Universal, que realmente pues marcó una época de la música afrocubano de la salsa que se hacía en Miami.
Mejor para los dos, pues vivo convencido.
Que aquí encontrarás cosas buenas. Ven, Filomena, que aquí encontrarás cosas buenas. Yo no creo en el abismo, por eso vivo feliz. Yo no sé ni lo que han dicho, compadre, me da lo mismo.
También en el año 2010, Tony Gundin es uno que tocaba el timbal antes que yo, hizo una reunión y fue un éxito, se reventó.
No creíamos que iba a ser de verdad y Tony Gundin dijo, sí, esto es de verdad.
It was a confirmation of what the band was between 1966 and 1982. We packed the place. It had 2 floors. I would look, you couldn't see walls anywhere. You only see people.
Who knows how many lives we touched. And I hope that we, I'm grateful if we were helpful in any way and that we brought joy to many people.
Especially coming from communist Cuba to developing Cuban music here in South Florida is a story that really needs to be told because it's very inspiring to people all over the world who get displaced by politics or war or whatever the reason. You can end up in a different place and your society doesn't crumble. It actually becomes stronger. So I think this has all been a very positive situation and a very great achievement for the Cuban community and for music in Miami.
What else do you want? Fantastic. Hell of a time. Fantastic. I do not regret anything.
Sí, do, re, do, si, do, da, do, re, mi, re, do, si, la, sol, si, la. Sí, qué cosas allá. Piensa, la gloria es acá. Tú y tú debes aprender. Tú y tú tienes cada cual. Es así, comprende que sí. Cada cual tiene su big big.
Por manos de negros cubanos que hayan jurado tocar su tambor. Chimboro,